At Royal St George's is a 444-yard par 4. The fairway's been widened by 12 yards since 2003, but it still demands an accurate tee shot. It's a 250-yard carry over the valley known as the Kitchen. The approach needs to avoid the three bunkers, front and left of the green. The prevailing wind is from right to left, on what's widely regarded as one of the toughest opening holes in Open Championship golf. The second is a par 4 measuring 417 yards that sweeps from right to left, turning towards the coast. It's 250 yards to carry the bunkers on the inside corner of the dogleg, and if you choose to stay right, it's still only a short iron to the green. Any approach not on target will run away from the raised surface and leave a tricky up and down. The third hole is a daunting par 3 that now measures 240 yards from the back tee. Dunes surrounding the green will often deflect the ball back onto the two-tiered putting surface. If the pin is on the bottom level, players can be faced with some delicate chips and putts. The fourth hole played as a par 5 back in 2003, but this year it's a fairly intimidating 495-yard par 4, especially when you take into account the towering bunker which faces you off the tee. Once over the second deepest bunker in England, the hole sweeps left. The approach will have to contend with a deep depression in the front left part of the green, and there's out of bounds just over the back as well. A 419-yard par 4, the fifth hole is a sharp right-to-left dogleg. The tee shot is the key. 5 bunkers and a number of dune ridges guard the left-hand side of the fairway, and it's a 320-yard carry to the last of the bunkers. The second shot is often blind and is played to a raised green, which is only a few steps away from the beach. The second of the par 3s at Royal St George's is just shy of 180 yards, but the long two-tiered green is set at 45 degrees to the tee, and with 4 bunkers surrounding the putting surface, there's plenty of trouble awaiting anything but a well-struck shot. A new back tee at the 7th adds over 30 yards to what's already a pretty nerve-wracking tee shot on this 564-yard par 5. The crest of a hill hides the fairway from view, and it's almost 280 yards away. A bad bounce can easily see a tee shot deflected into the first cut of rough. As the fairway moves left, a good second shot can lead to rich rewards. But beware the steep-sided bunkers, short right of the green and back left. Hole 8 is a tough 453-yard par 4. It's uphill off the tee, and 2 fairway bunkers force players to stay left. That adds yardage to the approach, which is over an 80-yard stretch of rough. The undulating green is surrounded by dunes and 2 devilish bunkers. The 9th is a relatively short hole at 412 yards. A bunker on the right tightens the landing area, where the undulations can throw a ball slightly off course. The ideal line in is from the right side of the fairway, playing away from the major drop-off to an undulating green, protected by 4 bunkers. Hole 10 is a 415-yard par 4 with an elevated green that falls away steeply on all sides. The drop-off behind the green is particularly severe, which helps explain why so many players fall short. 2 small bunkers to the left and 1 large one to the right lie in wait for any miss-hit stroke. The 11th is a par 3 of 243 yards. Helped by the prevailing wind, expect to see players hitting as little as 5 irons to this large, relatively welcoming green. Bunkers guard the left and right corners of the putting surface, which is notoriously difficult to read. At 381 yards, the 12th is the shortest par 4 on the course, but it's certainly not the easiest. Any player tempted to take on the dogleg is faced with a series of challenging bunkers which will spell trouble. With a number of bunkers short of the green and 1 long, a birdie, bogey or worse are all distinct possibilities on this hole. Another narrow fairway littered with 7 bunkers is in store at the 13th. A 459-yard par 4, the traps pinch the fairway at around 260 yards from the tee, with a further chain of 3 bunkers just beyond. Approach shots must take account of a ridge which runs the length of a 40-yard green, as well as bunkers short left and short right. With the out-of-bounds fence running the length of this 547-yard par 5 and the Suez Canal crossing the fairway at about 330 yards, the 14th has the potential to cause real trouble. The approach around the green has been softened for the 2011 Open Championship, but anyone attempting to reach the green in 2 still faces a daunting test. 2 bunkers protect the left of the putting surface, while the green drops away on the right towards the white posts. At 496 yards, the 15th will be the longest par 4 in the 2011 Open Championship, and many would argue the toughest as well. Even a drive of 300 yards, which avoids the 5 penal fairway bunkers, leaves a 200-yard second shot to a relatively small raised green that's got 3 bunkers lined up across the front and that falls away steeply on the right-hand side. Famous for ending Thomas Bjorn's hopes of lifting the claret jug in 2003, the 16th is a 163-yard par 3 that offers most a brief respite from a grueling inward stretch. The green, surrounded by 7 bunkers, is generous in size and easier to read than most, so expect some late birdies here. The 17th hole has been widened by about 6 yards for the 2011 Championship. The second shot is played to a green which sits on a plateau and is protected by bunkers left and right, and short left and short right. Any stroke under hit will roll back towards the tee and leave a challenging chip. The 459-yard 18th has been extensively remodelled for the 140th Open Championship. The fairway's been moved to the right and there are more bunkers in the landing area to catch misdirected drives. Other bunkers have been raised and moved closer to the putting surface on this classic finishing hole.